Entertainment Weekly made a list of the 25 greatest working directors. This is interesting. Won't this be interesting?
Yeah, let's do it. Just you brought it up. You got to do it now. I mean.
Okay. So when we say working, I mean obviously that means living. So there's no Bergmans or Antonionis or.
Right.
Yeah. But there's an interesting article in the Hollywood issue of Vanity Fair about Fellini and Antonioni, by a woman that knew them both very well. And it was kind of sad. Like, I think Antonioni, he like completely lost his vision at the end of his life.
Yeah.
Right. He had his wife drive him to different locations, and there was a tremendous kind of respect between the two of them, even though there's great competition in their careers too. That's an interesting article if you guys want to look it up out there.
I didn't realize that they had like a little rivalry.
Yeah, I mean they were both so intensely respected and revered, and I think they were trying to kind of one up each other here and there. What was also fascinating to me in the Corman documentary, and then I'll get to the 25 greatest working directors, was that Corman distributed movies like Cries and Whispers to drive-ins. Which is great. Okay, I mean, what an anti-drive-in movie. If
yeah,
really.
Was
it was cool back in the 70s going to see movies like that at the drive-in, although I've never seen anything quite like that at the drive-in. But
that's just great.
I don't think I've ever seen a movie with a foreign film at a drive-in. But, oh, wait, maybe House. I've seen House too. But I saw that recently. But, yeah, it was so fun back in the 70s going to drive-ins because you could see things like Network or whatever. Network's not a drive-in movie either, but there it is, you know. So it's like all sorts of things, you know, all the Hal Ashby movies and Ken Russell movies and stuff. Great.
All right, number 25 in their list of 25 greatest working directors, Mr. Guillermo... Jesus.
Oh, boy, starting off weird.
Guillermo.
What?
Guillermo del Toro.
I thought you were going to say Gomer Pyle.
Guillermo,
yeah.
Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo, yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that. Okay, I mean.
All right, I guess. He's not my cup of tea, but.
All right,
personally.
so he's number 25. Number 24, Pedro Almodovar. I can't speak tonight.
Yeah,
I want to see who's ahead of these guys. Did they just pick like 25 living, and that's it? No, these are both awesome choices. But I mean,
you got to admit though, he definitely deserves to be in there because he's probably one of the leading European directors. I mean,
he's just one of the leading directors. They both need to be in there. But now I'm just really curious if these guys are this far down on the list. I want to see who's ahead of them. And if it's
very infuriating list. So
well, it's not infuriating. It's not infuriating for who they omitted, because I think most of them are here on the list. But their placement is a little weird.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 23 is Spike Lee.
Okay. I mean, geez.
No argument for me.
What's interesting about him is, you know, he does have a lot of interesting stuff in the pipeline that are coming out. You know, the sort of quasi, sort of related sequel to Do the Right Thing, although they would say that it's not a sequel; it's related. And then the remake of Old Boy,
right?
He's trying to cast right now. You know, so
I think he's great. I think he has a singular voice and a vision. He makes occasionally incendiary movies, and what people don't give him credit for is his diversity. I mean, he makes very different kinds of movies throughout his career too.
We were talking about that the other night. I mean, just the 25th Hour, Summer of Sam, Inside Man. A lot of different
Inside
things.
Man is such a great movie.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
He's a very diverse director. And also the other thing people don't really bring up about him when we talk about like someone like Tarantino or Scorsese or even Woody Allen, Spike Lee really loves movies. Really loves old movies, old Hollywood movies. Really is a big fan of like the golden age of Hollywood. No one ever brings this up, you know? Very few people bring this up, but he is just as much a movie fan as those other directors.
Now this one is odd. Even though, albeit he's directed 3 great movies, but Brad Bird makes their list.
Well, he's working.
I wouldn't have him on the list.
Because I think he's very good, but I mean he hasn't built a whole career yet. He doesn't.
It's a little early.
Yeah, I think so too. Clint Eastwood is number 21.
Okay, obvious.
He's got to be on there. I mean, you can't not have him on.
Although that's pretty low, I think.
Well, let's see who's ahead. I mean,
David Lynch is number 20.
That's pretty low too.
That's low too, but yes.
Werner Herzog, number 19.
Oh, he has to be on the list. There's another one who's diverse as hell.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had an incredible career. When are they going to give him his special Oscar? He needs one immediately, like yesterday.
I just want to see him at the Oscars, period. I mean,
Yeah, that'd be a great moment.
He should be the host, the next host.
Werner Herzog?
Oh, Werner Herzog is the next host. That'd be awesome.
That'll bring in the viewers in droves.
That's like an SCTV type idea,
That would be great, though. You got to admit, it would be great.
It's like that skit on SNL with Maya Angelou's Punked, where she punked people. Yeah. Just an odd dichotomy. God, that was a hysterical skit. Now this one, I guess top 25. Peter Jackson, 18.
Okay, I could
definitely. Yeah, he definitely should be on there.
Everybody's totally interested in what he does, so I would put that in there.
Number 17, Roman Polanski. Yes.
Oh, yeah, he's living. Yeah, he has to be. He's working. Yeah, you got to have him on there.
Yeah, Roman Polanski feels like he's doing like a movie every 2 years now, which is pretty good.
See, this is what makes the placement of these talents weird. I mean, you've got number 16, Todd Haynes, ahead of Lynch and Almodovar.
That's weird.
And Polanski.
That's weird. I would put him in there, but he'd be in the 20s.
Yeah, I agree. James Cameron, number 15. I mean, you kind of can't deny that.
You can't. Two of the highest-grossing films of all time. So.
Nope.
Here you go, Dean. Mike Leigh, number 14.
Oh, well, good for them. That's really high.
That's higher than I would think for that list. But no, yeah, good for him.
That's completely deserved. I would put him at number 1 personally, but
it's good he made the list.
Yeah, it is.
Darren Aronofsky at number 13.
I would put him, as much as I like him, I would put him a little bit lower just because of...
I would too.
I mean, I've never seen a movie I don't like by him, but there's not a lot there.
Well, I mean, the only person that we've questioned that belongs on this list so far is Brad Bird. So, I mean, I don't think we'll question many of their choices.
No, I don't question the choice. I just question, like you said, the placement.
Right.
Yeah, the placements are weird.
Number 12 is Lars von Trier.
Yes.
He deserves to be on there. He's just such a troublemaker. I mean, and he's a great director, but he deserves to be on there. He's living and working. So
every time a movie comes out by Lars von Trier, headlines are bound to follow.
Number 11, Woody Allen.
Of course.
Yes. The
greatest gig in the world. I mean, the guy has the greatest career in the world.
He and Clint Eastwood are the most productive. I mean, and that's the only thing they have in common.
I want to see that buddy movie.
Yeah, that would be great.
I would be that first in line.
You're so right about Woody Allen having the greatest career in the world. Like, what the hell? He does just about everything. He does everything he wants to do.
Has there ever been an instance where he's written something and we're not going to finance? No, he can't get finance. I mean, has there ever been an instance, though, where he's written something and, like, Letty Aronson, his sister, couldn't get the money for the film? I mean...
Most directors, and Francis Ford Coppola went on record as saying this, most directors want Woody Allen's career. Yeah. They want that arrangement. Mm-hmm. Paul Thomas Anderson is number 10.
I agree.
I agree with that. While he hasn't made that many films, each film is something to remember.
And he's getting more and more daring, I believe. I think with each successive movie, his confidence level goes way up, and
Yeah. Now, there's not... The placement in here is, like, way off for number 9. But I would even question putting her on this list. But I think she's on this list because it's a her, and there are very few hers in the world of filmmaking. But she's very good. Catherine Bigelow, number 9.
Yeah, I mean,
I have no problem with that.
She's important historically, but really, when you look at her career, there's really 2 movies that really stand out for me, which is Near Dark and Hurt Locker. Mm-hmm. And it's not too early for her, and I might put her way down on the list. But there's another female filmmaker named Kelly Reichardt that I think is much more interesting.
I would put Alice Sanders on that list. I mean.
Who?
Well, Allison Anders. She's kind of been
of a certain time, yeah.
But I mean, now, unfortunately, she hasn't made a lot recently, but she is working and she's living. So I mean,
Susan Seidelman has a new movie out.
Yeah, I mean, there's another one that I mean, who's still making movies. Actually, that movie she made a couple of years ago, Boynton Beach Club, was very successful.
Mm-hmm. And then what the hell happened to Penny Marshall? I mean, she used to be our only working female director, and what's she directing now? Like School Traffic?
Here's a great one that's still working: is Jane Campion.
Yeah, Jane Campion, and she's actually made and her last movie I liked just as much as The Piano. Bright Star, I thought was wonderful.
Bright Star was one of the best things she's ever done.
Yeah, I mean,
number 8 is Alexander Payne.
Okay,
yeah.
Number 7.
With that, no.
Number 7, Joel and Ethan Coen.
Yeah, they have to be on there.
Yeah. I agree. What's their weakest movie?
The Lady Killers.
Lady Killers is their weakest one.
Okay, I guess there's no conversation here. I was expecting there to be some kind of debate. Number 6, Terrence Malick.
Yeah, you'd have to have him on there. Especially with the output now.
But that's good.
Number 5, Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
I knew that he was going to be in the top 5. I was predicting him for number 1, but...
Number 4, Martin Scorsese.
Well, now I got to figure who was ahead of.
This is where it's wonky, dude. I mean, Martin Scorsese is our 4th greatest living director. Okay, ahead of Martin Scorsese, it's number 3, David Fincher.
I knew that he was going to be up there too.
He belongs on the list.
Number 1 and 2. I think I can tell you who number 1 and 2 are, but
all right, who do you think?
I think it's Tarantino and Spielberg.
Look at you. Number 2 is Tarantino. Number 1 is Spielberg.
I wouldn't put Tarantino ahead of Scorsese though. That's wrong. I mean, as much as I adore Tarantino, Scorsese made all of this for a lot of these directors on here. Scorsese is very responsible for them becoming directors.
Right. I mean, I'm sure
Spielberg for that matter, but Spielberg's obviously going to be number 1. But there's a big, I don't know. I would put. It would be hard to say, but Spielberg or Scorsese in the 1 and 2 slot.
Well, yeah, I'd put Spielberg 2, Scorsese 1.
Yeah. But Tarantino, I mean, he definitely deserves to be in the top 5, but ahead of Scorsese though.
If anything, I think that Tarantino has started to become. I think it probably started with Kill Bill, a better director.
I agree 100% with that. 200%.
He's always been a great writer, but I think he's really stepped up and it's almost taken place. I mean, this isn't really safe to say because I didn't see The Last Airbender, and I'm sure it's god awful. But it's almost the best directing that I've seen M. Night Shyamalan do. It is in his worst written movie, which is Lady in the Water. But I watched Lady in the Water. I thought it's the best directing he's done for me, but it's the worst screenplay he's ever written.
Right.
Whereas Tarantino's always written terrific screenplays, and I think he's just gained a lot of vision and confidence in his direction.
I just think it's a weird thing to say, but the placement of the camera in Volume 1 of Kill Bill, especially the scene where she shows up and has Julie Dreyfus, and just the place with certain shots and everything. When you see all all of Oranishi's men come out of the top room and everything. Just the place for the things. It's just, I would never in a million years think of putting it there or there. And it's just incredible.
And it's no coincidence that it's when he started working with Robert Richardson.
Yeah. So
I'd like to see, do you guys have, now we've heard the whole list, are there any filmmakers that you thought were left off of the list entire?
Well, Michael Bay, of course. I mean, I'm going to go slit my wrist now after we're done with the show. Michael Bay and Peter Berg and, I like these directors, but I mean, I wouldn't put them on this list, but I do think those directors serve a purpose. There's a lot of directors that I'm surprised didn't. Where's Wes Anderson? Where's why isn't he on there?
That's true. Let
me ask you this: Whit Stillman, because he does have a movie coming out this year, a new movie after a long hiatus.
Yeah, but even outside of those, where's Francis Coppola?
That's the thing. Where is Coppola?
But I guess they feel like he's not really making movies. I don't know. Maybe they feel like he's not really making movies or whatever. But he is. But, like, where are the foreign things? You know, it's not a very far-reaching list because it's, like, generally, like, you know, with 4 or 5.
We got Herzog and Von Trier.
And
Almodovar.
But,
Almodovar, right.
Yeah, but wait, what about Ridley Scott or Tony Scott?
Yeah, there's not many British directors on there either. But,
there's no Ridley Scott. Yeah.
The Dardenne brothers, the Dardenne brothers from Belgium, or Peter Ponder.
That's asking too much. I agree with you, Dean, but that's asking way too much.
No, if you're going to if Sight and Sound or Film Comment can make a list like this, it's possible. And if it was their list, it would be a much more interesting list.
Where's Dennis Dugan?
I've been saying that for years. Well, I mean, you could put John Hillcoat on there. You could put
Soderbergh.
Soderbergh, yeah.
Soderbergh would be on my list.
Where's Neil Jordan? Where's
Well, where is Neil Jordan? He hasn't made a movie in a long time.
Well, God, if we're going on that basis,
here's another one. Cronenberg.
Kevin Smith, for that matter. Regardless of what you think about him, he's working. He's living.
I mean, if the only criteria were pulse, I mean, I would definitely put some of these on there.
Alan Rudolph, or is he not working anymore?
Yeah, Rudolph is interesting.
Yeah, he is. He's somebody that.
But that's a good call about Cronenberg. I would definitely put on there.
Cronenberg has to be on there. So does Soderbergh too.
Yeah, Soderbergh and Cronenberg.
Anything that ends in Berg. I mean,
anything that ends in Berg.